we all have thoughts moving through the mind that each of us, as the knower and observer of the mind, can get attached to. So if you think of the mind as the ocean waves, and if you look at yourself as the knower, the observer of those waves, we have two choices. One, we can sit on the shore and watch the waves and just be the observer. No matter what's happening in the waves, big waves or small waves, we feel safe because we're safely on the shore as the observer. But the moment that we go into the ocean, we're now subject to those waves. And now, if there's big waves, it can toss us around and create turmoil and create fear. So one thing we want to learn that's so important is to be able to gain a sense of detachment, to just move out of the ocean, out of the feelings, out of the thoughts, and just be in a comfortable place as the observer, as if you're on the shore watching the movement of the waves and the currents. So we're going to learn how to do that, and quantum psychology is an excellent approach in order to do this with. And what that is simply this. When we have a thought that we, as the observer of the mind, what we call the knower, gets caught up and identified with that thought, what we do then is we embody that thought, because every thought creates a biological reaction. And if we have the thought, the anticipation, the fantasy, the imagination that's not even real of something bad that's about to happen, we don't wait to feel bad. We feel bad the moment we start thinking about it, because we embody. Each thought creates this chemical reaction in our system, and now we feel anxiety, or now we feel depression, or now we feel anger, and it hasn't even happened yet. So by using this technique, a lot of great things happen as we step back. Let's use an example. Let's say I'm about to meet my girlfriend later. But I have a thought in my mind that, oh no, she's going to break up with me because I'm not good enough. And we then start to let the mind go in a million different directions. We then begin to get all sorts of memories that help support this. She's going to break up with me because I'm not good enough. And as long as I'm in that thought, I embody that thought. I biologically experience that thought. So what I want you to do, whatever thought that you have, any negative thought that's creating any type of negative reaction, where you lose your peace, where you're disempowered, where you feel weak, where you feel as if you're falling down and can't stand up, I want you to take that thought, I want you to get a piece of paper, and I want you to get something, a marker, and write it down. So right now, I'm going to write down the thought, she will break up with me because I'm not good enough. So I have that thought. I've put it down on a piece of paper, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to take away the power of that thought so that you can be free and gain a sense of detachment. I'm going to put this on the floor now and step on it and feel what it's like to be that thought and to embody that thought, the sadness, the state of fear that comes in mind, and just be with it. Notice the effect that it has. Then I want to detach from that thought and step out of the thought and step back. So now I'm no longer in the thought. I've stepped out of it to observe it, and I just want to observe this thought in my mind, the image in my mind, so that the image is here and I am here, and now I am the detached observer breathing fully and open, looking at the thought and reminding myself, I am not that thought. I am the knower of that thought. And just be here, breathing. And it's important to take slow, deep breaths as you detach. I am not that thought. I am the knower of that thought. And I just look at that thought in my mind, and whatever images come, just observe. Now, very often what we do, because we want to have the freedom to be or not to be, okay, to absorb it and abide in it, or to step out of it and be free of it, I might do this a few times to feel the sense of getting into it and the sense of getting out of it. And we can do one step even further, which is really cool. And that is when I'm in a detached position and when I'm looking at that thought, as I see that thought, bring my attention to the space around the thought and the image and focus on the space in my mind underneath it, to the right, to the left, above it, and see the space around it that will place that thought in a whole new context and completely disempower it, so it literally drains whatever that power that it was having over me, to now strengthen me that I am in this detached, open, free space as the knower of the thought. And now I can actually be free and wonder, I have no idea what's going to happen when I see my girlfriend later, so I will just accept this moment, abide in my breath, and trust that whatever happens is only going to bring me good. This is a leap forward into the quantum field of consciousness, and for you to be free.
Return.